Okay, we are on the last video of this series. We're going to talk about the entire Chinjung 2 form, red belt form. There's 46 moves. We have 3 key ups on moves 11, 21, and 31. First thing we're going to do, though, is talk about our stances. Again, we've been talking about these a lot, but what we're going to talk about is weight distribution, how far our feet are apart, where our feet are positioned. So let's just start with, in general, our front stance, back stance, middle stance, and sparring stance. The distance between them is all 3 of our own feet lengths. So if we're talking about a back stance, we're going to put this is 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. That should be my back stance. If I just turn this foot here, that's my middle stance. I still have that same distance of 3. If I turn here, now I've got the distance for my front stance, and if I just turn 45 degrees, I've got the distance for my sparring stance. So that is distance. Rear stance is a little bit differently. We will talk about that in 1 second, but let's talk about some more specifics. Foot position and weight distribution. So for the middle stance, again, we'll start there. Again, we are 3 feet lengths apart. Our knees are pushing out. We're trying to get them as far over our feet as we can to look like this. I like telling kids that we're either riding a skinny elephant or a really fat horse. Our feet are parallel like we are on a railroad track, and weight distribution is centered side to side, front to back. So that is a middle stance. It's very easy from here to transition into a sparring stance. All I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this foot back a little bit, and I'm going to turn my body 45 degrees. So now my body is facing this way. The threat is coming from that way. My feet are, again, 45 degrees, but they are still parallel to one another. If I turn this way, you'll be able to see that the toes of my front foot are in line with the heel of my back foot. You can't really see it on the camera very well, but trust me, they are. Weight distribution, again, like a middle stance, evenly distributed side to side, front to back. However, because this is a sparring stance, and realistically I'm going to use this, I want to be able to move back and forth, side to side. So my weight I'm going to put predominantly on my toes so I can bounce around. If my weight is back, I can't move as quickly. I'm not as nimble. So in that sparring stance, I do want weight on my toes rather than my whole foot. So front stance, we're going to do that same distance. Our feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. Our feet are going to be parallel, just like in the other 2 stances, a little narrower than the other 2 stances. My front knee is bent so that my knee is over my foot, and my back leg is straight, and the weight is front. I also want my hips forward. You can always tell if someone's back foot is not in the right position by where their belt is pointing, where their hips are pointing. So I can tell by looking at someone's belt whether they're in a good front stance or not. So you've really got to concentrate on getting that back foot straight so you can get your hips straight and that belt knot, if it's tied properly, facing forward. So there's our front stance. Now our back stance, same distance, but our feet are perpendicular from one another. So I'm going to put my heels together. I'm going to take those 3 steps. My weight just goes down. My weight is going to be over my back leg predominantly. Both knees are bent. As I said, feet are perpendicular. I want to try and get that back knee over that back foot. Okay, so there's your back stance. My rear stance now, pretty much the same. I'm just going to pull this front foot in. The distance for the rear stance is 1.5 feet length. So there's 1, there's 2. I still got the weight over this back foot. This knee is over that foot, but I'm going to lift that front foot off the ground. So I can use that leg in this stance pretty easily just by moving my weight back a little bit and picking that front leg up. So those are our stances. What we're going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate the form. I'm going to talk about stances. I'm going to talk about hand techniques. And then once we get through that, I will demonstrate the form without talking. So here we go. Chinjung 2. I'm going to bow. I'm going to step up with my right leg. In a ready stance, I look to my right. I'm going to step in a left back stance, and I'm going to execute a knife hand square block. This is tension, so we're going slow. Now from here, I'm going to turn the other way. I'm going to get in a right back stance. So I'm going to shift my weight back, and I'm going to do that same tension knife hand square block. I'll get in a back stance. Now these next two moves, also in a back stance. To transition, I'm going to step my right foot to my left. I'm going to step out with my left foot. I'm going to do a low block, reverse punch to the middle. I am now going to step forward with the other leg, so I'm in a left back stance, low block, reverse punch to the middle. From here, I'm going this direction, so this is where I do that round kick, side kick, landing in a front stance. And as I land, I'm going to execute a double inner forearm block. So here we go with that. From here, I'm going to do a upset punch to the middle, a reverse upset punch to the middle. And I'm going to step over with my left leg, stepping forward with my right leg into a left back stance, palm heel high, and this is my first key out. Now I'm going to turn to the back, still in the back stance, execute a reverse palm heel strike, high section. From here, I'm going to turn back this direction. I'm going to do a number 2 front kick, landing, turning 180 degrees, landing in the middle stance, back elbow high. That's the end of phase C. Phase D, I'm going to shift my weight into a back stance. I'm going to do a knife hand square block again, quick. Now I'm going to jump up, turning 180 degrees, landing in a back stance while executing a double outer forearm block. So it looks like this. From here, we've got that number 3 jump round kick, landing in a sparring stance, and again, executing a double outer forearm block. So to begin phase E, I'm going to turn 90 degrees counterclockwise, landing in a rear stance, executing twin knife hand low block. I step out in the middle stance, a upset ridge hand to the middle, followed by, now I'm going to do that reverse hook kick, land in a back stance. This is a reverse punch to the middle, ridge hand strike high. That is the end of E. I'm now going to do the opposite of C. So we're going to do that round kick, side kick combination, landing in a front stance, executing that double inner forearm block. From here, we're not changing stances. We're going to execute an upset palm heel strike or an upset punch. Stepping my right leg over onto my line, stepping into a back stance. I'm going to execute a reverse or a palm heel strike, followed with a palm heel strike to the back, and a right number 2 front kick. Landing in a middle stance, stepping out to a middle stance, back elbow. This is my third key out. I missed the second one. From here, beginning of phase D, I'm going to adjust my weight into a back stance and do that square block, jumping 180 degrees, executing a double outer forearm block, landing in a back stance. From here, I do that number 3 jump front kick, landing in a sparring stance, executing a double outer forearm block. I'll move over a little bit so you can see me. So from here, I am I'm beginning the opposite of phase E, stepping 90 degrees this way in a rear stance, twin low knife hand strike, going to step into a middle stance, upset ridge hand strike to the middle. This is where I do that reverse hook kick, landing in a back stance, reverse punch, middle, palm heel or ridge hand strike high. From here, I'm going to transition into phase F. I'm going to step that left hand or that left foot to my right, step back with my right, twin low block. From here, I'm going to do a number 2 front kick, landing in a front stance, executing a twin high X block. From here, I step my left foot back into a front stance, and I do that low block. Now I'm going to do a number 2 front kick, landing in a front stance, executing that high X block. I step my right leg back, and that is red belt Xinjiang 2, identifying the stances, the kicks, the strikes, and the blocks. So what I will do now is I will just demonstrate the form. So that is red belt form in its entirety. And that finishes out this video series.